call of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
You're listening to Pod at the Palace with Curtis Wilkerson on Inside Arkansas.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome back to a new week and a new episode of the Pod at the Palace. I'm your host, Curtis Wilkerson with Inside Arkansas. Today's episode is presented by Razorback Apparel. Go to razorback.com and use code HOGSBY20 for 20% off your first purchase today. How's everybody doing this morning? You know, sometimes that first cup of coffee to start the work week on a Monday, it feels as necessary as cracking open the first little cold snack of the weekend on a Friday afternoon when you've wrapped everything up. It was a not a very sleep-filled weekend over here at the Wilkerson household. So I imagine the coffee is going to be hitting a little bit different as we get things rolling. But hey, Mondays, we know, are weekend roundup days here at the Pod at the Palace. So we've got a handful of things we'll pop around to and a few different things to get you all primed up for the week ahead. But let's start with our heavy hitter presented by our partners over at HD Roofing and Construction. Guys, those storms can hit unexpectedly. We've seen that so much throughout the course of the spring and the summer. When that happens, be sure to contact HD Roofing for some peace of mind. They'll come out and give you a free inspection, make sure everything's in line. Up top, where it matters the most on that roof. When you choose HD Roofing, you can rely on professionalism, top quality materials, and expert installation for all your roofing needs. Check out hdarkansas.com for more info. You can give them a call to schedule that free inspection at 501-428-0429. Scan that QR code in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Today's heavy hitter, there's no drama here, right? It's future Razorback, class of 2026 commit, and Peach Jam champion 2 times, JJ Andrews. How about that? He got it done. JJ and Brad Beal Elite took home the 17U crown with a blowout win, 20-point win over the New York Wrens Sunday morning. Man, just continue to be so impressed with JJ and the strides that he's made. It's pretty incredible. 12th game in 11 days. That's a lot. And it was on a little bit more than 12 hours rest from their last game. You got a 7-man roster. You guys know we've talked about it all weekend. But he's been grinding. And when you're a power guard, you know, a physical two-way player like JJ Andrews, it's impossible for that to not take a toll on you. And you guys have watched JJ play throughout the course of his career, whether it be, you know, on the high school scene or on the EYBL or whatever. And if you were watching Sunday morning, you saw he didn't have it. He wasn't at his best. And, you know, in the first half of that game, the championship game there in North Augusta, had a couple, 2 shots blocked off the backboard on drives that rarely happens to him, as explosive as he is. An air ball on a feet set 3 there in the first half. It's like, ooh, short. He's not have his legs under him. Turned it over, crossing a guy over, trying to go to his right. Had his hands on his knees during dead balls. And it was like, oh man, has he really hit the wall here? You know, he's a guy who's carried this Brad Beal Elite team on his shoulders all summer. And I thought they really carried him in the first half. And then look, I don't know if he hit the smelling salts, if he got into to Michael Jordan's secret juice, the secret sauce there. I don't know what it was, but good grief. The second half, the man was using a straw to get any last drop of gas that was left in the tank, and it paid off for him. He was incredible in the second half. And honestly, credit to his coaches for putting him in position to get going. They really did a great job, ran some clear out sets to get him touches on the wing and just ISO straight line drives, getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line. One of those got him a huge bucket to beat the buzzer at the end of the third quarter. That really gave Brad Beal Elite a ton of momentum there. They were posting him up on smaller guards and letting him go to work. It was barbecue chicken in there for that. He's just too strong. And then he just went beast mode. He was going straight through guys, power into the basket, rebounds, finishing in traffic, getting to the free throw line, making his free throws. All of a sudden, as poorly as he played in the first half, you look up at the end of the game when all is said and done, JJ finishes with 20 points because of course he did. And he added 6 boards. He caps his EYBL career as a 2-time back-to-back Peach Jam champion, the Peach Jam MVP. He's already a multi-time high school state champion. I mean, it's just an incredible run. Incredible run. This is the last time that I'm going to do this soapbox until the rankings update comes out and, Jamie Shaw has him 25 spots lower than anyone else does again. But this kid's a 5-star. Stop the nitpicking. Stop trying to be the big brain. Think about it this way. When there's a job opening and you have an applicant with this type of resume, he always gets the job. He always gets the job. And he's nailed the interview process, and his resume is unquestioned. Don't overthink it. Production, check. He averaged over 18.6 rebounds, 2 steals per game on great efficiency throughout the course of this summer. In fact, his player efficiency rating on the EYBL was tied for the very best of all the players there. Competition, check. It's the EYBL, man. There is no higher level in high school basketball than what he's dominated his entire career. Physical and athletic traits, check. He's 6'6". He's absolutely shredded. The strongest, most powerful guard in his class, and it's not up for debate. Bowling ball, freight train, bulldozer, semi-truck, locomotive. Those are just some of the words that were used to describe him by the broadcast team in the fourth quarter of that game at Peach Jam. He's proven he can be an alpha, and he's now proven that he can be a complementary piece on a really, really good team. He didn't have to have the ball in his hands to do what he did to win that championship today. In fact, he was operating very well off the ball. They were running sets for him to get him touches in his spots, and then he was going to work, and he was highly efficient. Scoring off cuts, grabbing rebounds, playing defense. Half the time he was used as a decoy. He's a two-way player. He's shown progress and development when it comes to his skill, his feel for the game, his overall impact that he's able to make. Projectables. Look at the kid. Just look at him. I'd say that frame projects pretty well. He has, obviously, the athletic bloodline. And how coveted are two-way guys at the next level? And he certainly projects as one. And with the progress he's made, being a 3-and-D guy is very much on the table for him. And he's not a finished product. Imagine if and when that shot fully comes on and when he really develops and grows more confidence in that right hand. The kid's going to be a monster. And, at the end of the day, who did they interview after the Peach Jam title game? JJ Andrews. Whose highlights were they showing after the Peach Jam title game? It was JJ Andrews. And when they asked him what people will say about JJ Andrews, you hear what he said in that interview with Theo Pinson? He said they'll say he's a winner because they can't say he doesn't win. And it's right. All the man does is win games and make an impact and contribute to that. So, you got that right, my man. Well said. Because when people ask me about JJ Andrews, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. The dude just wins. He gets it done. He finds a way. He's incredibly efficient and fun to watch while he does so. This kid is special, Razorback fans, and I think you've got a really, really good one coming a year from now. 5-star him, all of you. Let's stop the nonsense here. Again, don't overthink it, man. This kid's earned it. He deserved it. The resume's there. The track record's there. The projectables are there. Give him the love and the respect that he deserves for just an incredible career that he's put forth so far. All right. Let's transition over to our vibe check presented by our friends over at Basis Health, who are changing the way healthcare is delivered with their mobile medical visits right to the comfort of your own home. When you're sick, you're run down, you got a fever, you're puking all over the place. Last thing you want to do is drive across town and then go sit in a waiting room with a bunch of other sick people. Have them come to you. And that's exactly what Basis Health does. They'll send a physician straight to your front door for primary care, urgent care, IV hydration, and more. Check them out, www.basishealth.org, or scan that QR code today to find more information. So, okay, at this point, we are a full summer in of watching all these prospects. It's in the books, right? And it's been a lot of fun. It just hits on a little bit of a different level as it pertains to John Calipari. He's always recruiting the top guys in the class. So they're always fun to watch, no doubt about it. It is interesting that, most years I feel like we're really dialed into a lot of games as you get into bracket play, and then JJ, and then to a degree, I guess, Christian Collins, they were the only two guys that advanced through, which is kind of crazy, especially in a year where there's a pretty big drop off, I think, after the first handful of guys, and it's a down class. So you would think the best players would have really dominated this event, but they didn't, interestingly enough. But at any rate, what happens now? Well, first of all, be on the lookout because over the course of the next week or two, honestly, and I'm recording this a little bit later in the afternoon on Sunday and it goes out Monday morning. Wouldn't be surprised if some of this happens between now and the time that this publishes, but you're going to see some list cuts from guys. You're going to see official visit schedules get released, interviews with nearly all of these top prospects now that the games are over until high school seasons start up. So the priorities, very, very clear for Arkansas. The targets, very, very clear for Arkansas. We'll know if there's going to be more added, and we'll know officially where things stand here, I think, very, very soon as it pertains to when Arkansas is going to start getting some of these guys on campus and how close they are to closing the deal with some of them. So let's do a couple things, just kind of wrapping up the summer here over the next day or two as it pertains to Arkansas's known targets. The first of which I want to do today, and that's place these guys into tiers. And what I mean by that is just tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, just based on my own personal evaluations of these guys. Now, this is not tiered based on who Arkansas is going to get or who they're the hottest on. We talked about that, and we'll probably readjust it and do it again at some point later in the week or the next week or two, whatever. But also, and let me be clear, I would take every single prospect that's about to be listed here in a heartbeat. I really do think everyone that Arkansas is on heavily that we know of can really play. I'm just a little bit higher on some than I am others. And some traits in players I value higher than maybe other guys. So that's part of it. I want to put that out there right away. It's like if you see a guy in tier 3, this is not, the pot at the palace guy says these dudes suck. No, it's not that at all. Every one of them's a take for me. It's just a matter of who I really want and who's just, frankly, who's impressed me the most, actually, throughout the course of the first EYBL session or the first live evaluation session of the spring through the end of it right now. So let me pull this up real quick and let's talk about it. Tier 1 for me, Tyron Stokes is pretty undeniable. You know, the combination of size, skill, versatility is just something that other guys in this class don't have. And I think he has the most star potential of anyone in 2026. Even if this is a down year, I think it's comparable to some of the recent number 1 overall guys. I only use Cooper Flagg by way of impact, but I bet he has a better college freshman year than AJ DeBanza will, for example. I'm really high on Tyron. So when you're 6'7", 230, 235, and you're kind of a point forward, can play multiple positions. I mean, he shot 44% from 3 on the EYBL at that size. Because when you see how he is physically compared to everybody else, you think, oh, that's probably just the biggest part of his game. But there's skill, there's refinement. He can handle in the pick and roll, or he can be the screener in the pick. You know, he can just do a little bit of everything. Really, really good player, super talented player. And again, like I really hope that Arkansas is able to finalize a visit and get him on campus soon to really put yourself in the legit running to land him. Because we know Cal's been out there prioritizing him, and you know, you've got teams like Kentucky and Louisville that you feel like might have a little bit of a leg up in the race right now, just because he's already been there. He's already been on campus. He's already visited even that playing field, and then let the chips fall where they may. Now, Jordan Smith and JJ Andrews, I have next here in tier 1. And I think, you know, as I was alluding to, that probably shows the value that I personally place on guys who just play winning basketball and have just a relentless competitive spirit about them. Both of those guys contribute to winning in so many ways, both ends of the floor, junkyard dog mentality. They're just really fun to watch. It's refreshing, these two guys. They are the 2 most physically gifted guards in the class, you know, with their combination of athleticism and just pure strength and power with which they play. That downhill combo would be crazy if those guys played together. And, you know, they were both not only just highly productive, but they were both highly efficient. 2-way guards. And just every single time I watched them, I was blown away with just the relentless effort that they put forth and just how they contribute to winning. That stuff matters to me, and that's why I've got him there in tier 1. And it's not homer business with JJ Andrews. I mean what I say. when I'm talking about him. I'm not stumping for JJ to be the number one prospect in the class. I'm not saying he's a finished product. I know he's got some things he's got to work on and refine. But you can't tell me that a kid who looks like that, who's made the strides that JJ Andrews has made, and just has put together this resume that he has, you cannot tell me that's not a 5-star. Go find me the guy who has won back-to-back Peach Jam titles and has been the best player on that team that wasn't a 5-star prospect. Somebody go find that for me, please. I think you're going to have a hard time doing it. Anyway, and I'm also in tier 1, I'm throwing the big fella, Arafandayani, in there in my top tier as well. And here's why. 2026 is super light when it comes to high-end big men. Arafan's the top center in his class. And he's really proven throughout the course of this summer that he's more than just a giant body. And I'm just going to start calling him 7 foot 270 because I see 6'11", 280 and I see 7'1", 260 all the time. So we're just going to meet in the middle from now on, 7 foot 270. But he plays hard. He runs the floor and his skill set continues to improve. It's not that he's just overpowering guys. He's starting to show a little bit of touch, finishing over both shoulders. It's not just I'm bigger than you and overpowering you. And he's super vocal and engaged. He'll talk a little bit of trash and he's picking up his teammates. There's just a lot to like about a young man like this. And they're just guys like this don't grow on trees, man. And I would absolutely love for Arkansas to get a big man like this on campus under Cal and just see what you could make of it, see what you can do with him. They haven't had that with a true freshman yet. And I know you got Palo Samito coming in and, Zaf, like they're starting to get some younger guys, but guys who need a little bit more work. This is the type of dude who could come in and, take over for you right away. And you see him progress in real time right in front of you with a big role. Or ideally, maybe he shows up and you've got him and Malik Ewan. Good grief. Think about that tandem. But I have a soft spot in my heart for traditional centers. You guys know that. I would love to see Arafandayani. He's been really, really impressive. And we'll see where things go with Arkansas, but love where they're at right now. Tier 2. I've got 3 guards here who are all awesome players. Learned a lot about Brandon McCoy over the past 10 days or so, personally. His athleticism is crazy. And I've mentioned it before, but his dunk highlight package from Peach Jam, it's just, as a guard, it's absurd. I think he's a college-ready defender. The shot is definitely a work in progress. I will say, though, that he showed enough flashes of that to me to where I believe it could be serviceable enough or consistent enough with everything else that he does to where it's not something that would really hold him back. Because that was one thing that I wondered about. But, he had a game where he knocked down 4 threes. He also had a game where he went 0 for 4. So it's streaky, but it's in there. There's some potential in there. Caleb Holt, I got to be honest with you. He was one that I had in tier 1, but I moved him down simply because I wanted a little bit more symmetry on this graphic. If I'm telling you the truth, he's really, really good. I love his positional size, 6'5", 200 pounds already going into his senior year of high school. A really, really long wingspan, 6'9", 6'10" on that. That's what you like to see. I will say, I do wonder what exactly he is positionally. A little bit of a tweener between a guard and a wing with his game and kind of where he excels and how he tries to play, which is fine. I mean, like most guys who play the 2 can play the 3 and vice versa. But I wonder at which spot he really, like, where does that future lie? Guards his yard really well. I'm not sold on the perimeter jumper yet. But from mid-range in, his bag is deep and he's a lot of fun to watch. A really, really talented player. Tay Kenny, I got to be honest here. No shade, but some of y'all are just haters, man. It's come to my attention that more folks are just maybe a little bit put off by some of his TikTok antics or whatever, more than his actual game. And when it comes to basketball, I think there's a lot to like here. I really do. I wish he was taller than 6'1". When you think about projectables and immediate impact and everything like that, when you see a guy who's 6 foot, 6'1", whatever, you're kind of like, all right, well, how does he overcome that? And you look at a guy like Jordan Smith, who's listed at 6'2", but a little bit undersized, but just his strength, his power, his athleticism really pops. What I will say about Kenny is I do think he plays strong for his size, but he's got plus length at the position. He's just so quick and so shifty that you feel good about the way that it would translate. Kind of a new age type of league guard, the type that you see quite a bit nowadays. Not a true point guard, but more of a scorer with playmaking ability that can get other guys involved. I really like his off the bounce game. I like how he can get into his pull up in rhythm. And here's the one thing though about him. I will say that his shot, perimeter jumper, the 3-pointer, it looks better than the results indicate. And that's something he's going to have to work on. Like it seems pretty pure to me. It looks good. I think there's a lot of potential in there, but he shot, it wasn't bad. But he shot 33% at overtime elite this last season. I think part of it is he seems to just get a little bit too cute with it sometimes. Like he's trying to do the Steph Curry thing with that super quick kind of short armed release. And yeah, you're just not there yet, bud. So maybe something to work on there. Tier 3. And again, I like all these guys. Arkansas's not recruiting any bums or any reaches as far as I can tell. Abdu Toure, I have here basically because I think he's fairly similar to JJ Andrews, but doesn't come with quite as much pop and isn't quite as far along physically. And they're different players in ways, but there are some similarities there. Now, that's just one man's humble opinion. John Calipari absolutely loves him. So there's that. Taj Ariza, frankly, he kind of fell here by default after not getting to evaluate him as much as I wanted to on this stage. He didn't play Peach Jam. Like I mentioned yesterday, I kind of went from feeling like Christian Collins was, a top 3 guy potentially in his class, right up there with Tyron Stokes and Jordan Smith Jr. to I'm wondering if he's more of a Robin than a Batman after struggling to kind of play the alpha role with Ariza out. They were teammates the last couple of weeks here. And then Mika Murinen, honestly, it's just hard to really say, guys, because he didn't play at all this summer on the EYBL or in the States. And frankly, his production during his junior season of high school, it came nowhere near matching where he's ranked. As most places still have him as a 5-star, a top 10, top 15 type of guy. Super, super gifted, massively high ceiling. But I do think that this year, his senior season of high school, it's going to be really important for him to kind of, reestablish himself as a really super high prospect there. So there you have it. Got something, fun planned out for tomorrow when it comes to just putting a final bow on the grassroots season. But there is one other thing I wanted to touch on as we shift gears here and wrap the show for today real quick. Summer League, NBA Summer League, wrapping up too. Dang, it's kind of depressing. We're literally out of actual basketball for a while. The grassroots season's wrapped up. Summer League is wrapping up. Arkansas doesn't have a team in TBT this year. I don't know. Maybe Michael Beasley and Keon Minifield are going to do some more one-on-one games here pretty soon. We'll stream those. I don't know. Anyway, a shout out in order for a couple pro hogs as we wrap up the show here. First, of course, the GOAT, Mason Jones. He's so much fun to watch, and it makes me really happy to still see him out there, see him in uniform, just watch him play basketball. He was such a joy, at Arkansas, especially that second year with the Hogs and everything that he was able to do. And you just root for a guy like Mason. And, I saw him put up 17 the other day with the Kings, and he's had a couple really good games, a couple little off games, whatever. But the pathway is not always smooth for guys. Not everybody's a lottery pick that just is, established right away in the league. But Mason just continues to embrace the grind, and I respect the hell out of him for it. He's a G League legend, man. And I hope that he finds a roster that he can stick on and find a role with this season. In baseball, you have those guys who are like 4A players, right? Like they're just too good to be in AAA, but just not quite good enough to be everyday starters or everyday regulars in the MLB. And I kind of feel like that way with Mason. Like he's too good to be playing in the G League. But some of his limitations on the other end of the floor, it's like, dang, but man, is he ever really going to carve out that consistent niche in the NBA? And man, I hope that he does. But so much fun to watch. Wanted to give him a shout. And then Jordan Walsh. He's officially the all-time Summer League leading scorer for the Boston Celtics. And I don't know if that's something that you want to put on a t-shirt or whatever, but the point is he looked, I thought, really, really good this particular year, this summer in particular. I just said particular a lot, one sentence, whatever. But did he not look way more confident to you guys if you were able to watch him play in Summer League? More decisive, the shot coming along, in-game windmills, getting feisty. I know he got ejected from that game, but he's starting to grow up a little bit, starting to show some of that personality that we saw glimpses of at Arkansas, and starting to realize a little bit of that potential that we saw as well. He's a gifted player, a talented player. Sometimes it just takes a little while for everything to click, and maybe this is going to be it for him, given Boston's situation this year. It's kind of a bridge year, a gap year, right? Jason Tatum's out with the injury. You've got some of the mainstays that are kind of moving on. It just feels like there's an opportunity there for a guy like Jordan Walsh to establish himself a little bit in this league before second contract time and everything like that. So I hope that he seizes the opportunity in front of him here, and maybe he can find a little bit of a role consistently there with Boston or whatever this year. So want to give those guys a shout out on the way out, and appreciate you guys once again for tuning in as always. If you're not subscribed to the Inside Arkansas channel, YouTube channel, do that. If you listen to the audio version of this podcast form, Pod the Palace can be found Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever. You guys know the drill at this point, but we got to remind everybody in case we have new listeners. But we're going to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. We ride at dawn, 6 a.m. The Pod at the Palace. Been Curtis Wilkerson with Inside Arkansas. You'll have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.